Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project365, episode 77. Today we're talking muscle up mobility. One of the things that I see when a bunch of the athletes are coming in is they lack mobility for one reason or another, sedentary job styles, whatever you want to call it. We get real tight in the anterior pec region and under the armpit area. And what'll happen is one of two things. When we're working on the transition, and this is why it can make the transition harder, is one of two things will happen. Either they'll come up and they'll have to reach so much higher because their seat position in the dip is like a little bit higher. It's up here rather than being all the way down. Or the second thing that'll happen is because of the lack of rotation, their elbows will wing out, which will put us in an unstable shoulder position. So one of those two will happen. So here's what we're going to do with it. We're going to get ourselves a bar, set it up decently low. It should be underneath our armpit. The first muscle we're going at is the bottom portion of the pec. Log on to the website today. You'll be able to see the extra anatomy bit that I put on there in the post. What we're going to do is the pec kind of runs up like this and connects into the arm. So I want you to lean against the bar, bars against the rack, like such. All we're going to do is slide our body down. I'm using my legs to allow myself to slide it down. And what you'll see is how this tissue kind of accumulates right there. Once I have that, I'm going to lean forward onto that tissue, and I'm going to kind of compress right over that. As I do that, I'm going to assist with my hand, and I'm just going to roll the bar out. Get all type of gnarliness in there, and then we'll go ahead and reset. You're going to want to do about 20 passes here, 15 to 20 passes. Takes about 3 seconds per pass. Now, once I finish the bottom portion of the pec, right, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a muscle that not a lot of us think about, coracobrachialis. It's a little bit different, but we're going to get it the same way. Instead of sliding from the inside with the bar pressure against my rib cage, I'm just going to let it kind of get up into the top of that crevice. And when I do that, I'm now going to lean towards the outside of my arm, and I'll be able to feel like it kind of goes against my bicep, the inside portion of my bicep. If I feel like a little tingle or something, you just have to watch because there's some vascular bundles in there. No need to make our arm numb. But what I want to do is I want to turn my hand down just a little bit so I can get more towards the anterior portion of my arm, or the front part of where my bicep is. And I'm going to kind of be splitting the bicep and the coracobrachialis. Same thing, I can use my hand to assist this, or I can just roll if the bar is sticking. Once I did both of those, okay, I'm going to come over here. We're going to go back to our lat muscle mash, right? The way that looks is I get my hand directly in line with my ear like such. I turn my palm up, okay? And then all I'm going to do is roll and really get a bunch of that lat tissue. It's down here on the side of my ribs and towards the back of my rib cage, okay? Each one of these I want to be able to spend about 2 minutes doing. I already tested once into that dip position, okay? So if I was to compare, I would want to test my dip seat position, like how deep I get into that dip with the ability for my elbow to stay to the inside. And then I could just retest it again here on my bar. If I wanted to be super specific, I would walk back over and retest on my rings a little before and after. I don't know if there's a difference there where you can tell the left and my right, but that's the idea. Guys, go home, try that out. We're going to try to do top part of the pec muscle here. We're going to try to do the inside portion of the arm, coracobrachialis there. We're going to try to get the lat. All three of those, that should help us with our muscle up mobility at least. And at least at the bare minimum, help us with the muscle up mobility, but get us into a better seat position in the bottom of that dip as soon as we come through that transition. Guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.